Spot Sexy. Happy Workout Wednesday. Welcome back to another edition of Sweet Spot Sexy with your girl, Sabrina Gilbert. Today's episode actually comes from a suggestion from the lovely Melly B. She is a pole dancing instructor and she competes also in pole dancing competitions. She's been at it for a while, and when I posed a question about what things you guys struggle with in fitness on Facebook, her response was that she struggles with maintaining a healthy diet in a counteractive environment. Meaning, you know, if you're the only person in your household who's trying to live a healthy lifestyle or eating healthy or clean eating, whatever you want to call it, then it can be very challenging when your grandmother prepares her famous mac and cheese and fried chicken and cornbread to turn around and turn her down and say, well, I am going to have grilled chicken and a salad and I'm going to pass on your famous mac. For lots of reasons. One, because those foods can be nostalgic for you and they are comfort foods and they do feel good. And of course, because I'm sure they taste good. But two, also for emotional reasons. You know, if you're from a culture where people really take offense to you declining their food, then it can be very challenging to maintain your healthy lifestyle. So I'm going to give you some tips that might help you. Especially, I think it'll be especially important with the holidays coming up in a few months. I know we're just getting into October, but I'm telling you the time is going to fly. So one of the things that you can do for yourself, especially if it's your living environment, so like if you're the only person in your whole household where you actually live that's living the healthy lifestyle or trying to pursue that, then one of the things you can do is to offer to cook. And that gives you the opportunity to say, well, this is what we're eating. I've offered to cook this. And you can introduce your family to some really delicious, healthy meals. I mean, it could be anything from barbecue salmon. Oh my gosh, I love it. You can grill it and then throw a little barbecue sauce on it with a nice side of maybe asparagus grill, that's also great, and some quinoa or some brown rice or something, and you can put the meal together. It'll be filling for them, it'll introduce them into something new, and it gives you the opportunity to be the person who's in control, and it keeps you from having to be in the position of declining somebody's meal. So that's really nice. I think one of the really important things that you should do, absolutely, is also communicate to your loved ones and the people in your household that you are living a healthy lifestyle. I wouldn't say dieting, because I try not to use that word. A lot of times people hear diet and they think, oh, all I can eat is soup and salad, and that's really not the case, and that's not what I mean. When I think about eating healthy or eating clean, I'm thinking about, okay, I'm just want to have more vegetables, I want to have more fruits, I want to have lean meats, I want to stay away from sugar, I want to stay away from white bread and have whole grain instead, or multigrain instead. So I don't use the term dieting, but I would definitely sit down with your family members and the people who are in your household and communicate to them that you are having some health goals and you are changing the way that you eat, and let them know that it's not a reflection of them. It's not saying that the food you grew up on is terrible or anything of that nature. You're just making a lifestyle change because that's what works best for you. And that communication, I think, will help also prevent them from offering you. And you might initially experience some of the natural responses of, oh, what, you too good to eat this, and that sort of thing. But you will see, as you stay persistent and really stick to your guns, that they will come around, because you have to also bear in mind that you've made a choice, and it has an emotional effect on your loved ones, and that's just part of making these type of changes. I think when they experience your healthy spin on some of the traditional foods, they'll start to feel differently and come around. And I do know that from experience, and I'll share that with you a little bit later. But I think communicating will also help your family. Another important thing, super huge, you got to plan your meals. You do not want to leave it to chance, especially I'm in a fitness group, and somebody posted in their fitness group, oh my gosh, my colleague brings baked goods to the office every single day. She's always bringing cookies and banana nut bread and all kinds of stuff into the office, and it's so counterproductive to what I'm trying to do. If you plan every single meal, including your snacks, which means you got to go to work armed and ready, like with all your little healthy snacks ready, if that's a Fiber One bar, if that's the low-fat string cheese, I love those. If it's a bag of baby carrots, you gotta have all that stuff in your bag, and you gotta prep it, you know, the night before. If you can, the week before. I try to do the whole week when I know I'm not gonna be in my office, if I can, and get all my stuff ready so that I don't leave it to chance. So that way I'm not in the office and it's time for my snack and I didn't pack something, and my colleague has walked in with a bag of cookies, and I'm like, you know what? It's right here. My blood sugar is low. I need to refuel. Let me just have one or two. Because if I got my snacks in my bag, I'm like, you know, that's real nice and it's tempting, but I got this delicious Fiber One bar, which they're amazing. Delicious Fiber One bar, I'm gonna have that instead. I got this amazing protein shake instead, I'm gonna have that. So you gotta have that stuff armed and ready. If you leave it to chance, you're more likely to give in to the temptation, because we're a creature of convenience. That's what we do. It's the American way. So if you conveniently pack all your stuff and take it with you and plan everything, you're less likely to give in to this counterproductive environment. The other thing that I would say, and this is the last thing, is to keep posters and images of kind of what your goals are around. And what I mean by that is I keep a lot of fitness images in front of myself. So when I'm seeing, you know, the fitness models, or even if it's just an everyday person who's a fitness trainer and they've got their six-pack and their triceps are looking crazy cut and they're all lean, you know, I'm not trying to look like a bodybuilder, but those pictures inspire me. And having those pictures in front of my face all the time, you know, I keep some actually right next to my fridge and in some of my cabinets where I would tend to keep what I call nasty foods, like potato chips or whatever. I don't buy them, but if I were to have them, they would be in the cabinet. So I keep the pictures there so that I don't buy them. I open up the cabinet and I see this beautiful fit person and I want to grab some mixed nuts or something else, because I'm like, yeah, I'm trying to get to this place, and this visual's in my face all the time. So you'll want to start to maybe consider that, maybe make a nice picture of yourself when you've made your 90-day progress and that lean belly that you have and those beautiful toned arms and thighs. Keep that as your screenshot or your homepage on your phone, and that will keep you motivated and keep you from moving backwards, because psychologically, and this is actually something they found in a psychological study in the University of Texas, psychologically that will trigger something emotionally for you that will make you see that little instant gratification of that Reese cup is not worth all the hard work that you've, losing all that hard work that you've put into getting to where you are in your progress. And those are a few things that you can do that are gonna help you create a better environment. And you will see, and I'm telling you this from experience, you will see the people around you, it's kind of contagious. Living healthy, it really is. I've been living this healthy lifestyle and talking about it with my family and kind of going hard on all my different little trainings for the last 4 years and all my Beachbody programs, and it's been a long journey, but my family has started to adapt. You know, my brother-in-law became a personal trainer a couple of years ago. My sister's a nurse, and she started just kind of following him and taking his advice as nutritional effect. My parents are not have any involvement in fitness as far as the profession or anything, but they have started to also adapt. When we go to family gatherings now, they give us healthy alternatives. Like, I'll give you a perfect example. A couple weeks ago, I was home in Virginia for both of my brother's birthdays. They're September 20th and September 21st, and my mom wanted to have a little get-together, and so we did. And at the end of the get-together, we all came home to have dinner, and she had the fried chicken option, traditional Southern fried chicken and mac and cheese, but she also had grilled chicken on the table. She had potato salad, she had string beans, so there were some healthy options, and she's making those adjustments to accommodate us, because she's seen over the years that my siblings and I, are just moving into living a healthy lifestyle and being more consistent with it. So you will see, as long as you stick to your guns, your family will eventually follow suit, and they love you and they're going to be accommodating. But it's up to you to stick to it, and up to you to commit to yourself for that effect to trickle down into the other members of your family. And like I said, it might take some time, but when they see you constantly doing that, they're gonna accommodate, and that's just how it is. So I hope you found these tips helpful. A few things that you can do. If you have some other tips and other ideas that you want to share, please comment. Feel free to comment. Let's start a conversation. Let's help each other out. I certainly don't have all the answers, so I'm happy to hear what you want to share. That's this week's edition of Sweet Spot Sexy. I will see you next week. Until then, live healthy and live happy.
Everywhere I go.